Today in the studio, folks, I've got a real treat for you. His name's Alex Charafeddine. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, sir. You nailed it.
Charafeddine.
Charafeddine.
Now, he goes by Ace because apparently he's some sort of ace at sales and closing deals, yeah?
Yeah, the nickname was Ace before Ace Hood.
What's that mean?
You know Ace Hood the rapper?
No.
You don't?
No.
You always got some good tunes. I figured you would, but...
I always got good tunes, but dude, mine are more old school. He must be new.
No, Ace Hood.
Ace Hood?
Ace Hood, yeah.
Never even heard of Ace Hood.
Come on.
Songs by Ace Hood.
You 100% heard of him. You just can't think of the songs that you've heard yet. Because he raps with people you listen to. Come on. There we go. You know this one.
No, but I can tell he's good. Isn't that crazy? I've never heard of Ace Hood. You just introduced me to a new artist.
Just download one song by him called Undefeated. I think it's your style.
Undefeated. All right.
You could hit that one in the gym.
Well, I like rap, so as you know. But I'm old school, bro. So Ace Hood, new artist. Great. You were named after him.
I was named before him. I was the first Ace, I believe.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And why is it that people call you Ace?
That's a good question, man. I don't know. My friend started it when I was younger. It used to be AC because those are my initials, and then somebody made it Ace, and then we just went along with the Ace. And
has nothing to do with being badass?
I was good at poker. I still am. Oh. You know, anytime I got pocket rockets after that was my nickname. It was always all in.
You get a lot of nicknames, huh?
Acez. AC was before. That's pretty much it. Charaf.
Dude, so you're 32 years old.
Yeah.
And you're out of Michigan.
Yeah, I'm out of Michigan. I've been there since I was a baby. Came from Dubai.
Do you speak Arabic?
I speak Arabic, yes.
And تكلمي عربي?
Oh yeah, بفهم. That's good. Where'd you learn that?
أنا مراتي مصري.
Oh, من المصري. I like that.
So, what makes you the badass at sales? You came out here to LightSpeed to film your phone script course.
Yeah.
Because you're such a badass on the phone. Claimed to be a badass. I haven't verified that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very humble, but it's been a humble beginning and it's been a long journey. And I've been doing sales since I've been 16 years old through a lot of different journeys, you know.
Successfully.
Successfully, yes. I built
made some good coin.
Yeah, I built a distribution company out of scratch. It was actually from a failure. A failure planted a business, and that business, after 10 years, we sold it for about 1.4 million, which was a success for me when I sold it at the time.
Have you always been into sales?
That's what started it. I mean, I used to throw parties in high school, you know, so I was promoting parties all the way up to like 2021. Then there was too much trouble, so I stopped there. But after that, it was a distribution company. And that was all sales because I built a sales force in that company. I was doing all the work in the beginning. And then when I couldn't do all the work anymore because we expanded so much, I built a team. And that's when the sales came in. I was doing street sales in that company. And then when I built a team, I started doing phone sales and I started going after the big sharks. So I learned how to catch somebody from the 1-800 number. For example, I'd call a 1-800 number for 7-Eleven franchise or for the Holiday Inn franchise. And I got good at trying to find the right person to talk to. And then I'd send emails and then I'd get meetings and I get, flown out to places. And that's where the sales journey began.
Are you good at getting past the gatekeeper?
I learned how to get past the gatekeeper.
The reason I'm asking is because I want the bomb squad to understand, number one, how important sales is to a business.
Sales is everything, you know. It's about likability, communication. And I think it's not only in business, but it's in life. You know, everything is selling.
Agreed. How important is selling to the bottom line of a business?
It's everything. I mean, without sales, you have nothing.
That's the bottom line, folks. So pay attention because I'm going to pick Ace's brain on some of the processes, techniques that he not only executes, because you still sell, right?
Oh, yeah, every single day.
But you're also out there teaching other people how to kick ass.
Yeah, so after I sold this distribution company, I went into a large financial institution that did mortgages and all sorts of things. And within the first year, because of the training and the experience I had in building that distribution company for 10 years, which started, with me and my brothers by ourselves, I automatically was a top salesperson there within about 3 months of selling. And after that, it came to a point where I won the award.
Out of everybody?
Out of everybody, and that's thousands. And my specialty, of course, because there's a lot of different things you could do in the mortgage world. There's purchase, there's refinance, there's home equity lines, there's business loans. So,
well, you joined a company that has thousands of reps, and you were the top one.
Oh, yeah, one of the largest companies.
So you whooped everybody. What do you think the number one reason most people never become top salesperson?
So for me, because I got asked that question a lot, of course, a new guy coming in, people are like shaking their heads. Who is this guy? How's he number one? He's only been here for 3 months. I didn't even know how to spell mortgage. By the time I got there, I didn't know anything about mortgages. And for me, it was because I built a company for 10 years and it was so difficult. My number one thing building that company was the resources. You know, at first I called them employees. I learned from this company that they're team members. They shouldn't even be called employees. They don't go by that. But we had paper receipts and we had shitty vans we'd buy off Craigslist because that's all we could afford when I was building this distribution company. The vans would break down. The employees at the time, which now I call team members, they wanted new vans. So we'd get Sprinter vans for them. Then they said, we don't want paper. We want iPads. We got iPads for them. We want a nice printer. We got them printers. We want uniforms. We got them uniforms. They wanted to get more motivated. We took them on trips. So the issue with this business and the reason why I sold it is because the bigger we grew, the more overhead we incurred. We realized at a certain point, the more we're growing, it's just sucking in all the profits that weren't coming in. So that's why we sold the company. When I went to this large financial institution, it was amazing because the resources were endless. Anything you need, you got it. Coffee, slushies, all benefits, paid time off, trainings for days, whatever the hell you want. I mean, you could email the CEO.
Slushies?
Everything. I mean,
dude, it's funny that you say that.
It's a small things. Small
because
things
we have a
matter.
slushy machine in our.
Well, we'll get to your place in a second. Well, your place is amazing, and I got a lot to say about that as well. But the resources were endless. I literally emailed the CEO, who's a billionaire, you know, and he responded to my email within an hour. And I was amazed. I'm like, this place is amazing. And people that were there were kind of like, they've been there for a while, so they didn't have the same hunger as me. For me, I built a company. I never made over $100,000 a year for those 10 years I was running that company because of the expenses. And I went in there and my first check was like $23,000. It was half a month. My second check was close to $30,000. And I'll never forget, you know, one of the vice presidents came up to me, tapped me on my shoulder. I was there at 7:30 a.m. preparing for my day while the office was empty because that's the kind of hunger I had. I'll never forget the day I seen that deposit go in. You know, that changed me forever. And he told me, hey, he had a printout of my check. They actually passed out my check everywhere to show people what was possible. And he said, did you see what you made last month? I'm like, yeah, I got it. Thanks so much. Let me just focus. And I turned back and I did my job. And I was just saying, because that was the reason why I did well, because I was like a dog in a cage trying to build a company and not make what I was worth for 10 years. And I finally went there within a couple of months. I'm making this. And I'm like, just get out of my way. This is too good to be true. Let me run. And I ran for a good year and a half. I actually got invited to the award ceremony every single month with all the leaders because they used to invite the top banker with all the leaders in the leader meeting once a month. I went 12 meetings in a row and got 12 awards in a row for the top banker in that specialty. And then after that, I got tapped on the shoulder. They said, hey, it's time for you to be a leader. And I went into leadership for about three to 4 years. I was a leader. Became a senior leader. And as a senior leader, I got known as the guy, which this is what created the academy and the urge to sell and teach and inspire and impact the world. There was somebody who was a close friend of mine, grew up in the same neighborhood, told him to get a job there, actually referred him in. He was struggling. He was never a great salesperson or a great communicator. He was more of a guy, you know, plays Madden at home, simple guy. His family got good wealth, you know. But he was really struggling there. And he already gave up on everything, college, nursing, to go there. So it was my responsibility because his parents know me as well. And he wasn't in my region, but I was a leader at the time. And he was on something called a production letter. You know, production letter happens when you don't hit your goals. You're like bottom 20% for 3 months. And they put him with different directors to try to help him. Nobody could help him. It was his last month. And his leader, who I also knew, I went and talked to him. I said, hey, please, it's his last month. Let me get one shot with him. He looked me in the eyes. He said, Alex, there's no way, man. He's like, we tried everything. You know, just let this one go. Let him go be happy somewhere else. He was tearing in the office. He said, please, one more chance. Let me go to his team. He went to my team, and the story actually makes me emotional because it's the reason I do what I do. But after 2 months, had his best month ever, made his first 10,000, then made his first 15,000, then made his first 20,000, then got promoted to senior banker, executive banker, President's Club banker. And now he's a director of mortgage banking, running a sales team. And this is a guy that was on his last leg. After this happened, it was an aha moment because I asked him, I said, yo, what's the difference? You know, you had all these leaders. They all taught you. You did trainings. You stayed till 12 at night trying to sell. What was the difference? He said, the way you broke it down. Nobody broke it down like you. It was just simple, easy to understand. You made me remember it. You automated it for me. So I'm just very good at breaking things down and making them digestible for somebody to understand. So after that happened, I was known as the guy as, hey, if somebody's on their last leg, send them to Alex Charafeddine. And that's the guy I became
Old
known for.
Alex Charafeddine.
And then that reputation started growing. And then people would start emailing me and people would start messaging me, hey, please, I want to do a one-on-one with you. If you have a half an hour, I just got a couple of questions. I heard you help so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So that turned into me doing camps. I called it the boot camp. It was whenever a new banker came in or a struggling banker, I'd run them through a camp all the way from A to Z.
Why are people in the mortgage business called bankers?
That's what they are. They're mortgage bankers.
Is that what they are? Bankers?
Yeah. Or there's brokers, but that means that you don't work for an actual company. You broker a deal and you give it to different companies. And this place
it's just a cool sounding name, especially if you were picking up ladies at the bar.
Yeah, I'm a banker.
Yeah, I'm a banker. Yeah. That sounds fun.
How about President's Club banker? That's my title now.
President's Club banker.
Yeah.
Well, not to interrupt, that's a hell of a good story. But when you first started making that coin and then your buddy was getting ready to quit and you showed him what to do, what was the first thing you got him to understand?
How to make somebody like you.
So how'd you do that? How to win friends, influence people?
To show his personality more on the call. Stop being so focused. Stop thinking of the overall scheme, of what I have to do, how I'm going to close. I said, have a conversation, man. You're the coolest guy. You make everybody laugh. You got a hot chick. You've always been known as a popular guy. Why aren't you showing that on the phones? And he wasn't. He was so tense and I'm going to get fired.
Trying
and I got to hit my
professional.
goal. He was just thinking about too much. I made him let go of everything and just be yourself. You know what he started doing? He started talking about football for half an hour. And then at the end, he'd be like, oh, I got your mortgage. He presented to him. But the whole time they're talking about the St. Louis Rams, which was his favorite team when they were called that back in the day. So he started doing that. He started talking to people. This guy started getting keychains from clients in Hawaii saying, thank you, Adam. We love you so much. Gifts from his clients. He just became the most likable guy because he started building relationships instead of selling, which is what it's all about. That's why I was good at sales. I did street sales for 10 years in gas stations, liquor stores, and hotel shops. In Michigan, that's where it started. It turned into nationwide. But in the beginning, who was I selling to? Lebanese, Chaldeans, Jews. And that was pretty much a majority of my people I was selling. Oh, and Indians.
Chaldeans. What?
Chaldeans, yeah. They
Middle
own most of the liquor stores in Michigan.
Are they Middle Eastern?
They're Middle Eastern, yeah. Usually from Iraq.
Chaldeans.
Yeah, Chaldeans.
That sounds like a freaking something out of Star Trek.
Yeah, but if you don't know the history, there are some Chaldeans that don't like Lebanese. I'm Lebanese, right? There are some Jewish people that don't like Arabs, right?
Yeah, but dude, what do you think about the fact that from a cultural perspective, Lebanese, Arabic, Middle Eastern nationalities or cultures are all very good at freaking selling and dickering and freaking selling. For some reason, dude, the Middle Easterns are all excellent at selling.
Well, the ones here, my father came here not knowing English, and he worked at a gas station on Joy Road in Greenfield, got held up at gunpoint many times, barely knew English. And if he came here and did all that, we see that stuff growing up. And I'm like, oh, I can't be a little bitch. My dad's been through all this. What am I going to do? Complain about sitting on a desk and selling mortgages to make 6 figures? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but you didn't answer the question. How is everybody so good at sales? Or is that just stereotyping?
So that's the reason, because most of our parents came here having a hard-working job, so we had to help. So I quit football and basketball. I started working in the gas station with my dad. At the gas station with my dad is a lot of customer interactions. They started liking me. I started upselling products and stuff.
So you just learned it.
You learned it from working young,
Yeah.
And communicating. But I was saying, so through that job, working with those folks, if I learned how to sell Indians, Jews, Lebanese, Chaldeans through a bulletproof glass, I had to come in there with a catalog and knock on the glass and say, hey, you got a minute to talk to me? That was my cold sale pitch. and they'd brush me off, and I'd have to wait half an hour while they keep me there on the side, not even caring about me. Then they come out and I have to show them the catalog and say, we're doing these kind of chargers for gas stations. You get them for $5, you sell them for 10. It's a double on your investment. I come once a month, I service it. Anything that doesn't work, I take it back. Would you like to get one? It's $500 for one set and $1,000 for the other. So just selling that through Bulletproof Glass for the first couple of years by myself, because I didn't have an organization at that or a team. I didn't have the capability to do that. That made me the salesperson I am pretty much. So when I first sold that company, I used to fight with my brother. I said, man, we sold it. I didn't get shit. We paid off our debts, like 10 years for nothing. You know, I used to blame him for it. 10 years for nothing. He looked me in my eye. He told me I'll never make over 100,000. Why? Why'd I waste 10 years? And then when I got in the mortgage world, I learned that that experience made me who I was, and I was appreciative of it.
Well, sure. That experience is going to make you millions throughout your lifetime.
Exactly.
If everybody just figured out that sales is all they have to master to be, 99% of the way home.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you know how to close, persuade, and sell, you can get hired at any time. You can start a business damn near any time. You become valuable, real valuable.
Also, if they understand that if you're not happy in the tunnel that you're in life, that tunnel is going to shape you to be the man or the woman in the next tunnel in your life. They'll stop resenting things. Like imagine I left the company and said, oh, wasted 10 years. Did I make any money? Let me sit on my couch and get drunk or get high and be a bitch about it my whole life. Like,
you see people doing that?
I see people doing that a lot, man. They're just resentful and they just complain. And one of your rules in your book that I just finished.
All right. So if everybody's listening right now, they're like, all right, what's the first step I do to become a better salesperson? Step one.
Become likable. Well, step number one would always be your purpose in your mind and the why and why you're doing it all for. Like one thing I teach people, specifically bankers, is like when you're on the phone with somebody, when you answer that phone call, what do you think of? What do you think of when you take a call? And a lot of them, you know what they think of? Oh, it's going to be a hang up. Oh, who is it now? Oh God, I got to write this many loans today. I'm like, that's not what you should think about. I'm like, you know what I think about when I take a call? My son, my wife, my mom and dad, the house, the bills. When I'm thinking about all that, why the hell would I be thinking about a hang up or anything negative? I only have one option, that's to succeed. In order for me to succeed, I got to be connected to my purpose and my vision. How do you make that throughout your day so it's memorable? And in the course that I just, shot here, I teach that. I teach little hacks you could do throughout the day. What do you put on your desk? What do you surround yourself with? How do you start off your mornings? How do you end your day? What do you do at lunch? What do you do to take a break? How do you prime your mind to be successful at all times? How do you prime your mind to think about your why throughout everything else you do? Because if you're thinking about your kids and your bills and your dreams, you're not going to be negative. You can't be.
What about time blocking?
Time blocking is important. We talk about that as
that?
well. Yeah, of course. I'm hour by hour scheduling maniac.
Down to the freaking lunch?
Down to lunch, down to Saturdays and Sundays, even for leisure.
You plan out your leisurely activities?
Yeah, there are times I don't because you need that mental break sometimes.
Like what happens when we're done here?
When we're done here is leisure. And my wife and my baby are waiting. I actually told them to come to this park right by you.
Oh, right.
To let my son play around there. And then I'm spending the rest of the weekend with her and my mom, who was also here. We brought her to babysit a little with us and chill.
Do you have a big Lebanese family?
2 brothers, 1 sister, a mom and dad, and then nephews and nieces. Everyone's married with kids, except one brother's divorced, but still with kids.
So you grew up in a good family.
Good, hardworking family, yeah, thank God.
Yeah. So step one would be figure out what your why is.
Figure out your why and your purpose. Everybody says, okay, I know my why and my purpose, but how's that going to help? Okay, well, figure out how to connect your why and your purpose to everything you do. How could you engrave it in your mind so you think about it throughout the day, through all your actions? Right now with you, I could be nervous, I could stutter, I could mess up, I could not be confident. But no, I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my dreams. I'm thinking about everything I've ever done. I haven't always had success, but when I wanted success, all I thought about was having success. So nothing else got in the way. So when you figure out your why and your purpose, what do you do with it? Do you put a photo on your desk and look at it before you take a phone call? Do you write down your goals and a gratitude list every morning? Do you call somebody when you're upset or negative and say, hey, I'm upset or negative? Could you get me back in the zone?
Now, what if someone's listening saying, no, I don't do any of those things?
Start with the simple thing. Put some things around your desk that remind you of your purpose and your why, and then put them in your car. and then put them by your bed. If you wake up and you see a picture of your dream, you go to your desk, you see a picture of your dream. You go to your car, you see a picture of your dream. You go to sleep, you see a picture of your dream. Guess what happens after a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, 4 months? That dream's engraved in your mind. Like, everybody has dreams, but who engraves them in their mind and accomplishes them? So I'd say suffocate yourself with your why and your purpose. That's the first step.
Put out a bunch of reminders of some kind.
Yeah, reminders, hacks.
Like if you want a Ferrari, a picture of a Ferrari.
Correct. I know you talk about visualization. That's extremely important. If you visualize every single morning when you wake up, that could be a small hack.
What about becoming likable?
Becoming likable. Yeah, figuring out how to make somebody like you, showing your true personality. Why do you stand out? Every human's unique. How do you show that uniqueness on the phone? So first, I walk them through how to figure out what their uniqueness is, and then I teach them how to show it on the phone. And I do that by showing them how to share commonalities with somebody, how to dig deep. We call it like open doors, smashing moles. We have all these terms in this course.
Smashing moles?
Yeah, smashing moles, opening doors.
So if I was
cracking the egg, riding the wave, we have all these terms in this course. But that's how I made people understand it, because they're like, this is cool. I just went to this guy's training. It's called the 8 Mile training. You know, and he was playing Eminem scene when we walked in. And that was like my training for objections, how it started. Because I simplified things and gamified them. The Fruit Ninja, that's like our lead to credit training. You know, I call it the Fruit Ninja. So gamifying things, making it easy and digestible, making it fun. That's why people understood it.
And then you started showing people and they started selling a bunch more?
Yeah. For example, like one way I gamified it, lead to credit. My team, when I was a director, because I was a director for a couple of years and I stepped back down before I was about to move up again. Just for flexibility, I had my baby, my parents' house burnt down, a bunch of stuff happened. And then I wanted to build this academy as well and work on the passion. So I went back down to banking and was in a reduced hour schedule. But the Fruit Ninja, when I was a director, we had an issue. We couldn't keep people on the phones. The lead to credit, which means when you take a phone call, what's the percentage of that phone call converts to a credit report, which is very important, especially when you're doing something financial. You don't know nothing until you got the credit report, right? You got to make sure they qualify on what's going on. And then that's data that you could use for other sources. And we couldn't keep people on the phone. So what did I do to keep people on the phone? I made a game called the Fruit Ninja. I said, you know, the fruits, you ever play Fruit Ninja, by the way? The fruits are the reasons you can't keep clients on the phone. I'm busy. I don't have time. I'm not interested. We wrote those down on the board. I said, the sword is what you say to slash those fruits on the phone. I'm not busy. No worries. I'll make this super quick for you. I don't have time. We'll make an appointment. Let me just ask you a quick question. I'm not interested. Let me tell you why you should be interested. So we just made, we called them ARPs to the objections, something that you could slash right back so you're prepared and ready for the objection. Because as soon as you hit the client back with the objection they're saying and slash through that fruit, they're silent and they're listening to you. So we called it the Fruit Ninja game. We'd get into a big conference room and we all practiced it. We'd stand up, we'd swing swords in the air and mess around with it. And pretty soon the whole office was swinging their hands in the air and just playing this game while they're on the phone and having fun with it. And guess what happened? They started pulling more credit reports because it was a game, it was fun, and you practiced it. So when a client said, I don't have time, the light bulb lit. We just did that an hour ago on the training. They knew exactly what to say. And then after a couple of weeks, they're just experts at pulling credit at 60, 70%, So those are some examples, but there's a lot of that in this course. A lot of games, a lot of simplifying, a lot of making things easy, digestible, and automated for you to do.
So not to plug your course, but it teaches people how to rock on the phone.
Yeah, phone sales. It's everything from A to Z about phone sales.
Getting past gatekeepers?
Getting past gatekeepers, everything.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Damn, I freaking might have the vid or something. Got something stuck in my throat. Now, let's talk about getting past the gatekeeper, because that's a big question. People always get cock-blocked when they're trying to get a hold of the prospect.
Yeah.
How do you get past gatekeepers?
So in the mortgage world, the gatekeepers would be for us like the wife that says like the husband runs all the numbers, right? So if I was talking to somebody's wife, or the husband that says the wife runs all the numbers, depending on the situation. But if I was talking to one, I'd say, yeah, of course. Well, we'll give Brad the great news when he gets home, but let's get a proposal ready so you can show him exactly what's possible. You're a flag for a great opportunity. Let me show you what's good. Let's give him some good news when he gets home from work. Okay. I like the sound
I'd prefer to wait for him.
We could wait for him, and we're not going to make any decisions without him. But what I'm saying is when he gets home from work at dinner, I want you to tell him exactly what we could do, because there's a few different ways we could go about this. How long you guys been married for?
10 years.
10 years. I'm sure you guys, need to agree on everything with that strong relationship. And I want to make sure that he's on board. And I'm pretty sure that you know what his goals are, right?
Yeah. I might have stopped that with, if he's, wait for him to get home. Well, that makes perfect sense, but you want to be prepared so you can cut to the chase, tell him what we're offering, wouldn't you?
Correct.
You don't want to waste your whole dinner talking about nonsense, do you?
Yeah. There's not a lot of gatekeepers in the mortgage industry. I had more of those in the distribution world. In the mortgage industry, we got a direct contact. They're either calling or we're calling them.
How many mortgage bankers are there in the world?
Over 40,000.
So is your goal to try and train all 40,000?
Yeah, but not only mortgages. I made the course universal to all phone sales. So I've trained in the insurance world, and it goes along with the same exact concepts. I've trained in the car sales world, which is not phone sales. That's actually in person, and I've trained anybody that sells. Sales applies to everything in life, and I think phone sales in general applies to all phone sale roles. So any company or any business you have that's on the phone to generate business, and some companies don't even use the phone to generate business. And that's a whole nother avenue. If they just start using the phone to generate business and get out of their old times and the ways that they think, they could actually generate more business that way as well.
You teach them how to prospect or what?
We could teach them how to prospect, right? That's coming soon. But mostly in this course, it's just teaching them how to sell. From the introduction, the preparation, the brand, building rapport, building commonality, squashing objections, how to present the loan, how to get referrals, which is huge.
Present the loan or present the product?
Present the product or service or whatever it is that you're providing. How to build emotion on the phone call, how to close on that emotion, follow up for cold calls, follow up for regular calls, the formula of how you follow up, icebreaker, the benefit, the urgency, the close. We go over steps. Like everyone says, okay, I know I need to follow up what I need to do. We give you templates and tell you exactly what to do. You just got to fill in the blanks. Everything's simple and easy to do.
Sounds like you've spent some time building out some framework.
Heck, I was closing on average by myself over 20 million a quarter, just banking by myself for this company. So just amount of folks I've talked to on the phones in the last, 7-8 years. And then for my team, I used to examine all the phone calls and coach and listen and close deals and help and join, which is another thing we talk about. Mid calls and second voice. That's how I got here. I had somebody mid call me or jump in the call with Austin and help close down that deal with me. And that's something I talk about as well. A lot of companies don't use second voices or mid calls. If a lead's not interested, they withdraw it. They don't have anybody else call it. We've built regions and teams of over hundreds of people just to call somebody that's already been denied or said no. They call them again. Well, another voice is on there that's more experienced. And a lot of people throw those away. They said no or withdraw them. Nobody else second voices them. Nobody else calls them. Nobody else joins those calls when they're going downhill. How do you fix it at the current moment?
If someone's listening to this and they're like, dude, I like this dude's thinking, man. Do you do consulting?
Yeah, we go into businesses and we revamp it. We do culture consulting.
So there'll be a bunch of people from the bomb squad listening to this going, dude, I'll call that son of a bitch.
I'd love to, man.
How do they get a hold of you?
AcezAcademy.com.
With a Z, though.
With a Z. My phone number is on there.
ACEZ.
Yeah, the email's on there.
Academy.
Yeah. We come out there. We do sales trainings in person, or we have the course online. We do our leadership, culture, building a good culture. I feel like you have a great culture here, which is what me and Jen were talking about earlier. The way your office is set up, you appreciate your clients, you appreciate your employees or team members that you have here.
How can you tell?
The guys shooting my video, they actually cared. They stopped me, said, no, do it this way, do it that way. They were into it. They gave me feedback. And I'm like, damn, you guys could have just came here and just hit the thing and said, they don't care about sales. Their role's not sales. But the fact that they care about my sales and what I'm doing and gave me feedback and we're talking back and forth and they built a relationship with me, I asked them, why? And they said, because we care. It's not ethical for us to go to sleep and not care when Brad takes care of us and we love what we do. And I think they've been with you for a while. So it just shows when we walk in and we get greeted with a smile and coffee, your people are happy. When you walk into a place and people are happy, guess what happens? The results follow because your people are happy, right? I was just telling you earlier, I went to a restaurant yesterday.
Happy team members, happy clients.
Happy team, happy dream, happy wife, happy life. It just aligns up perfectly. And I think a lot of companies out there for the culture training, we teach them how to build that culture, right? Nobody has time. They think it's too much on their plate. Well, okay, it's not too much on your plate. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to have these 5 awards. We're going to give them out once a month. Whoever wins these awards gets this dinner. It's going to happen once a quarter. We're going to have this trip for half the year. We're going to have stack ranks everywhere. If you're virtual, we're going to send out the stack ranks in emails. If you're in an office, we're going to have these boards.
Stack ranks?
Stack ranks are like, to show production and metrics. Leaderboards, yeah. We call them stack ranks.
Nice. Yeah, that shit works, man.
We show you how to do it.
I might hire you to do it for me.
I'd love to.
We don't give no stack ranks around here.
Really? You should have one. Like
we have something called MVP and a strawberry award. So if for some reason somebody comes up with some revolutionary or ingenious shit that saves the company or clients time and money, I give them a strawberry award. Nice. A strawberry award.
That's good. That's a culture award.
Yeah, it's $2,500.
That's awesome.
And then an MVP, anyone can be an MVP. They just go above and beyond, and that's $500 for the month.
Yeah.
And I hope to give them out every single month.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome. And that's good for culture. You should.
I know, but I don't. Why?
Because it's not easy to do. So how do you make it?
It is easy to do. You walk around as a team member, and you think like you're an owner.
Okay.
And then you think, is there any way I can improve that? What about 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 that? You walk around all day long trying to figure out how you could improve something that you see. Hey, I noticed the customer comes in here and they wait there for about 4 minutes. Wouldn't it be better if the customer walked in and they were sitting down with a Coke in their hand within a second? Well, yeah, it would. Well, how do we fix that? What's a solution? And then once you fix that, it's like, boom, MVP award, or maybe even a strawberry, depending on how impactful it was.
Which is cool.
And then after that, I'd be like, what else can I look at? Like, how are the fridges set up? How's the bar equipped? What's that for? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And pretty soon you start to become an intrapreneur.
Uh-huh.
And that's how you get those every time.
Yeah.
You just freaking focus and look for, how can I improve this place as if it were mine? That's the trick. Most employees, as they're called employees, they don't give a rat's ass, dude. They're looking at the clock to see when it's 5 o'clock. They're looking to freaking clock out and get to wherever they're going. They're just here for a paycheck. Yeah. They don't give a rat's dick about anything.
Well, whose fault is that?
That would be the leader's fault.
Correct.
For hiring a person like that.
If I walk in here and I work here and you say strawberry award, when you notice things that are broken that need to be fixed and you come up with it on your own, you submit it here. And every week we have a meeting and we go over who gets a strawberry award. And then you put a picture on the wall and you build a wall of fame. Now I'm like, all right, I'm thinking about that constantly.
See, we didn't do the wall of fame. I just give them the check.
Wall of fame is good. People like their pictures on walls.
Yeah, people like recognition. It's true.
Correct. So for the companies that are not, they're not doing anything like that. So how do you build a system and a tradition that lasts a lifetime that people are going to remember and just do?
Could you help a company implement one quickly?
Very quickly.
Like you make up the badges and the awards and the games?
Even the automation.
Oh, yeah?
What time it should go out, how it's going to go out automatically, how to give ownership to it.
No, dude, you should embed that into your VT system, by the way, because it's got leaderboards, community. So like anytime anyone deploys your VT system that trains their salespeople, you could toggle on and implement your leaderboards, which are the badges and the recognition.
Yeah.
Just go in there. That whole leaderboard, you can customize the shit out of that.
That's awesome. And yeah, your technology is awesome. I'm very excited for this course. I was using Thinkific. I can't believe I was using it. I was a fan of yours. And then when I found out that about LightSpeed, it was like perfect. Everything connected right in time.
Well, I mean, listen, all these other systems out there, they're just hosting solutions.
Yeah.
LightSpeed's a learning solution. That's the difference.
Well, it's because you went through it too.
Well, the technology is designed to get people to actually learn what's in it, not just access a video that you hosted there.
Yeah.
Because watching a video doesn't make you better. It's accountability, practice, role play, freaking
exactly
good content repeated. You need repetition.
Yeah.
Like you read a book more than once, I'll bet you get more out of the book the second time.
Yeah, I couldn't remember squat from books when I first started reading. So I made a YouTube channel called The Top 10 Takeaways, where I'd summarize a book in 10 takeaways and then be 10 minutes long. And it was
got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, Acez Academy. That's
everything's Acez Academy.
Everything's Acez Academy.
With a Z, folks. If you're looking for this cat, Acez with a Z.
The YouTube channel is also a journey.
You also have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Everything.
Twitter
I just made because your team suggested it. So.
That's right. You got to be everywhere, bro. Every channel.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to start dropping nuggets for people which will lead to your consulting, your freaking academy. It'll lead to your whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if I'm watching you, sometimes I need to watch you for 3 months and hear 14 things that you have to say before I say, okay, I like this dude. So if you didn't keep that going and keep dropping those nuggets, there's sales you won't ever get, because sometimes they have to see you 10 times before they make a decision.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And that goes the same with your business and, people listening. Is your business on the top of customers' minds on a regular basis? I don't know. Look at your advertising. How much money did you spend last month advertising? If the answer is nothing, there's a probability that you could increase business right there. Advertise.
Yeah.
What about training your salespeople so they understand how to prospect? What about training your salespeople where they're enthusiastic and they stay longer, which there's been a correlation to the tenure of a salesperson to the customer satisfaction. Because when everybody's new and kind of dumb, customers aren't happy because everyone's new and doesn't know anything and bumbling around. But when everybody's been there a while because your turnover's low, because your culture's good, well, then your customer service goes up because you got people that have been there for a while. They know the answers, man, and they're plugged in. Yeah. Like, how do you get that culture? Well, you got to train them. You got to freaking hold them accountable. Yeah. You got to freaking, lead from the front and back sometimes. Yeah.
I think about onboarding too. Do they have an onboarding process where somebody gets inclined to your culture and learns the ins and outs and has a mentor to go to for anything they need? Or do they just jump them in the ocean and tell them swim? If they jump them in the ocean, that's what results in people thinking that they have dumb employees or dumb workers that don't know what they're doing. It's because they were thrown into the ocean. They weren't taught what to do.
But if you have drowning.
Exactly. If you have a good onboarding process and you team them up with a mentor, then you put a stack rank or a leaderboard of who gets their mentor the highest production this week. And now all your mentors are fighting to win that. That's another example of some visibility you could put on it and put a contest in it and make it a tradition.
Are you good at those things?
That's what I'm good at. Yeah. I could systemize your whole thing for you and just make it easy.
Well, dude, you're probably going to get a shit ton of phone calls from companies going, dude, I'm interested. How much?
Yeah, no, I'd love
to.
But,
just make sure you cut old Brad Lee a piece.
Oh, yeah, man, we grow together.
Get a little slice because I'm nice. A little fraction of the action.
Honestly, yeah, the mortgage banking role, it's been great money, so this journey is not even about the money for me at this point.
But if I'm in the mortgage business, I'm listening to this, dude. Your shit definitely applies to that.
Oh, you could take my shit money back guarantee if you don't do better in mortgage banking or any kind of phone sales. I mean, I have never failed with anybody that's been sent to me, and there's been over hundreds of people that have made 6 figures their first year just with me.
Dang, folks, there you have it.
No, it's definitely going to happen.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming. I don't want to keep you from your wife and fam bam.
Yeah.
Go enjoy Vegas a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They're about to be outside on the swings right by you here.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Folks, if you guys want to follow this guy, go find him. Acez Academy. That's with a Z, A-C-E-Z, A-C-A-D-E-M-Y. He's on all the channels. Go check out his YouTube. And if you're weak and want to get stronger, or you're strong and want to get even stronger, freaking this dude's been teaching people for how long?
Since 16, so it's been about 14, 16 years.
16 years. He's got it all down, framework and everything. Until next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Brad Lee. Subscribe now.